Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Master of Conference, for nice, kind introduction. And dear ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Why I was a bit not so, why I'm so sleepy, because it's 6 o'clock in the morning in Moscow, so it's a time difference. So please forgive me for this. I would like, first of all, to thank organizers for this great opportunity to speak at Ideas Show, and I would like to thank the Ministry of Mass Media and Communication of Russian Federation, who runs telecommunications and information working group at EPIC, and I was granted for around 20-30 minutes to speak about the social innovations and how they boost the development of the whole industry, which is a new industry in Russian Federation. And first of all, I want to start with one slide for you, just to understand in what circumstances we're working. So Russia is the biggest country by territory. We have 10 time zones, and it's when it's in Kaliningrad, for example, the breakfast time. In Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, they are finishing their dinners. So also, our population is 146.5 million people, and what is more important is the density of population is just 8 people per square kilometer. And what's probably new for you, it's Tetris was invented in Russia. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and according to their research they've made in 2012, 53.5% of Russian population aged between 25 and 64 have diploma of higher education, and the majority of them is in technical professions. So the nearest is Canada, which is 52%, then it goes Israel with 46%, and USA is 43%. So there are a lot of potential to invent. And now I just want to show you a short video of how Russians sometimes use this potential for invention. So using excavator for O-ring, it's quite an unusual thing. So recently in St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, there was a panel discussion on this issue, and professor from MIT, Robert Graham, pointed out several facts which I also want to share with you. First of all, he said that Russians are really great in making inventions. You can see there is a list of inventions. For example, Glushkov invented basically the electric lamp, but Thomas Edison introduced it to the public. And for example, Sergei Lebedev has invented the first computer, but there are no Russian computer companies, computer producers, world leaders in this area. Not Russians, are Japanese, Americans, Chinese, Korean, other companies. the point is that Mr. Graham said is that invention is much bigger than the innovation is much bigger than the invention. That inventors just create things, but innovators, they make them successfully and commercially successful, not only for the inventors, but also for the public. And we basically asked this question of what can we do with the scope of the inventions in Russia. And in 2013, we as a group of specialists in social entrepreneurship development, we created a small program which consisted of training on social entrepreneurship literacy, and also we had the support from our colleagues in this sphere, and we got a small seed funding from one CSR budget of the commercial bank. So we went to the universities and saw a big demand from the students who has a lot of their social initiatives, and they wanted to make them happen. So very quickly we realized that the majority of these initiatives are related to the assistance and support of the disabled people. And we started exploring what's going on in this field in Russia and in the world, and what we found that not much at those time. It was pretty sad because there are plenty inventions, but nothing has been done. So we tried to, and moreover, we didn't find any organization or any initiative that wanted to change this situation. Another interesting fact that we detected is that 94% of the products that disabled people used was imported to Russia. And this is a really huge market opportunities. So that's why we created a Center for Social Initiative Development called Enabling Technologies, which I represent. And our goal was to support those innovators to consolidate efforts of the key players and develop the rehabilitation industry, assistive technologies, and support social innovators. We support people who produce goods for disabled people. We support those projects that create jobs, and projects where team leader is a disabled person. Our slogan is that we help you, you help millions. And of course, we use these social innovations through our as an instrument, and the main innovators are our startups whom we support. But we also internally support, try to make innovations as well. For example, we consider NGO as a sort of a business. It's basically different types of generation money. In comparison to traditional business, where companies just sell products or goods, NGOs basically fundraise money or attract money from the public for their activities. But one of but as for the management and operational tools, NGO adopt a lot from business things. One of the things that we introduced is each our project has an individual curator, and the curator is the person who helps the startup to develop their project. This is coming from the venture capitalists. So venture capitalists always hire managers who push, remind, and monitor how it's going on with startup. In our case, we are not. The curator is more like babysitters 2.0 for the project, because they know the project well, they know the demand, they know the problems, and they try to do their best in order to help this project to develop. The center also provides financial support, trainings, master classes, and what the most important in our work is that is the networking. Many modern entrepreneurs say that one of the skills that you need to have to be successful in business is networking. And we understand that projects and startups need time to build their own networks. That's why we created our network, and we give access to it for startups. And we tried to have on board all the main stakeholders and all the main organizations in Russia who support startups. As an example, I can give you a project which I like very much. It's called Caterville. And by the way, this guy and the team itself created this prototype of this wheelchair in their garage. And what's very interesting about this project can be not only just going on the flat road, but it also can climb the stairs. So when it has a crawler driver, so when it comes to the stairs, it can go up and down. In Russia, it's quite a big problem, because not all homes has good equipment for wheelchairs, and sometimes people just stuck in their homes for years because they can't get out. And what's also important to mention is that this project came to us and asked to help them with organizing production of their wheelchairs, and we managed to convince the Ministry of Industry and Trade of Russian Federation, who helped us to link this team with the big factory in their native region, and now they're making their first trial lot. Startups basically save a lot of money and time and resources when using our network. And that's because our staff mainly can identify the problems that they have, and basically direct the startup concretely to the partner or person they will get the needed support. I often hear from the investors that they cannot find a good startup to invest in. I will be very pleased if I'm wrong and it's not about Taiwan. But at the same time, I often hear the problem that the startups could not find the investor. And again, I hope it's not your case. But sometimes it's happened because government NGOs, businesses, and startups, they all speak different languages. So we are, as a staff in the center, we are like interpreters, and we translate to each party their languages and try to speed up the development of the industry. One of the other examples that I want to share, Yvonne previously spoke, and I saw the word artificial intelligence. That's very limited. I understood it, but this is also the project with the artificial intelligence. It's an assistant, and it can help. Basically, it was created for blind people and deaf-blind people to assist in their basic needs. It can do many basic things, for example, just controlling the home appliances. It can be as alarm clock. It can be can regulate temperature and etc. So this example is quite interesting because it can be not only applicable for disabled people. There are plenty of other target audiences that can be and opportunities for this product to be sold. So for that cases, my colleagues created a special brainstorms sessions where they collect a lot of experts, and they basically upgrade and wrap up this product for the other target audiences. So, very often social innovators do not see the market, because when they invent something, and especially young engineers, when they say, okay, this is a good thing, this is a social project, and it's good that when I can help somebody with by doing something. But according to the World Health Organization, is that the 15% of population of the Earth is are disabled people, and it's nearly 1 billion people. And despite of the medical care development, the disabled people population will grow, and that's partially because of the aging of population. Not long ago, Russia ratified the United Nations Convention on Rights for Persons with Disabilities. And there is huge scope of work in this field, but already, and I mentioned about this project for my colleagues here, this is the platform for blind and visually impaired people, and it brings you to the, it gives you opportunity to use information technologies. It's very easy to learn on how to use this platform, and the product is designed for creating speech-enabled appliances with a set of standard tools for easy access to web services, to mail, news, and etc. So strategically, we think there are three main streams. It's existing entrepreneurs and enterprises in this area, it's startups, and it's science. For example, with science, we plan to work in the field of neuro technologies and neuro interfaces. We think it's a very promising sector. And together with our fund, and especially we'll work in the field of deaf-blind people, together with our fund, with our partner fund Connection, and with this fund we have already made a lot of good work and tracks on the projects on deaf, blind, and also for we created a great research on deaf blindness. Now we have the biggest database on publications and specialists in the world, and now we are looking forward for having multinational companies on board in order to do projects on that will serve interests of deaf-blind people. So, in conclusion, I just want to know that first of all, only for 3 years we've been able to decrease number of the percentage of imported goods from abroad that disabled people use. Secondly, it's public awareness, and it was increased, and thousands of solutions, new solutions from hundreds of young engineers arise. Thirdly, the government created a very conducive environment for designing technologies. Fourthly, it's key players working together. Fifth thing is that our startups, and we consider startups as just from the scratch or just very beginning stages. They invested. They got social investments in the amount of $4 million, which is an amazing thing. And the most important thing is that we gave the opportunity for disabled people to receive technologies that help them do things they couldn't do previously. And sometimes this is a vital solutions that give them opportunity to live a full life. So my final sentence will be, I would be happy if you will help people who will help millions and billions of others